Welcome, everyone, out to West Lawrence High School. Caught up with head baseball coach Brian Brown. And, Coach, it's an exciting time of the year again. The field looks great. The team looks great. And you look all right.
I try to.
No, Coach, we want to look back at the last three games. And I guess as we do that, we turn back to what, Bleckley?
Yes, sir. We go back to Bleckley County. We went over there to Cochran for another, Raider Royal Rumble. And it was an exciting night. It was a cold night, kind of wet. During that game, we had a 55-minute rain delay.
Wow.
Then we went 8 innings, and thank goodness we come on top, 2-1.
Man, that was a tough one now.
It was.
And if you'd have asked me up front, I wouldn't have thought it would have been that close. Would you have, Coach?
Yes, because we've had some, wonderful battles, with Bleckley over the years. Brad Davis and
formidable opponent.
Yeah, they just do a great job over there. It's always good baseball, when we play each other. And that's teams you want to play.
That's
when
right.
you're non-region, you want to play teams that you make mistakes, they take advantage of it, and same with us. So
that's a good school system. That's
it sure is.
Like you say, that coach, he's good. Whatever team they're playing, it seems like they're pushing it like West Lawrence is.
Yes, sir.
You're pushing it to get better every year. You want to get better. You're bringing in the best coaches to help you. You're trying to develop your players along.
That's right.
And have a good, solid, Christian-based, if I can,
absolutely.
system. And that's the way they operate. So hats off to them, too. But
yes, sir.
A tough game. Now, who pitched that game? How'd that go?
Wade Brantley started. He threw phenomenal. Wade's been very solid for us all year on the mound. Just keeps the ball down, gets ground balls, and he really does a great job, mixing things up. Then Tyler Franks come in, and Tyler had another good outing. He threw the ball well, pitched a couple innings for us, and then Bradley Wilson come in and got the save. So it was just they only had 2 hits on the night. So that just shows you what our pitching staff has done. And their pitcher, Brody Little, he pitched well. He threw well. He kept us off balance. He hit his spots. It was tough, and I'm glad we faced that kind of pitching because that just really gets us prepared for region play.
Yeah, and it'll be here before we know it, matter of fact, right? Yep. But then we look on past that. Okay, any real standout above those you mentioned in that Bleckley game? Because a lot of times kids, man, a tough game like that.
E.J. Holmes, he was 2 for 4 with the RBI. Parker Woods, leadoff guy, was 1 for 4.
Right.
Tyler Franks was 1 for 4. And there in the 8th inning, Bradley Wilson had an RBI sac fly to put us up 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
So, good ball game. Once again, it's just good timely hitting. When we needed it, we ran the bases well, took advantage of their mistakes.
Players make plays.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and then we move on. We had to go from that to, what was it, Jones?
Jones County. We had Jones County here. We got a little payback. We lost up there. We played at Jones 10-9, and so they come down here. Another wonderful battle. With Jones, we come out on top 5-3. We jumped out on them. Early. We went up 3-0 in the bottom of the first, and held on in that game. Highlights at the plate. Parker Woods once again was 1 for 4. Tyler Franks was 1 for 2 with the 2 RBIs. Brody Slaughter was 2 for 2 there in the 5th inning. He hit a solo shot to dead center. I think he would have went out of any ballpark we play. He got all that ball. Paul Kellum was 1 for 3. A.J. Mathis was 1 for 3, and Sam Reiner was 1 for 3. Mm-hmm. So we swung the bats well that game. Pitching wise, Colton Scott got his first start of the year on the mound.
All right.
He pitched fantastic. He once again kept the ball down. Didn't walk a lot of, I don't think he walked any batters. Got ground balls. Let his defense play behind him. Jake Helton came in relief. Pitched well. He pitched a couple innings, to keep him at bay.
Yeah. And
then Bradley Wilson came in and got the save.
Awesome.
He pitched well. Those guys, they scattered 6 hits. They had, we ended up scoring 3 runs. 2 of them were earned. But, once again, we had a great ball game with the Greyhounds. And that's, I think me and Jason Page, the coach at Jones, he and I are real good friends.
Yeah.
You talk about another program, that really, tries to do things the right way, teaching these kids with Christian values and being respectful.
Yeah.
It's a good program. He does a good job up there with Jones. And we were talking about the last 8 years that West Lawrence and Jones have played. You know, we split every year, and every ball game was been decided by 3 or less runs. So that's just, you know, it's just good competition. You know, just good baseball, and just making our kids better.
Yeah, yeah, and you love to see building that character and that content of what you put on the field and
Yes,
what
sir.
you teach them in the dugout and day in and day out. Coach, you know as well as I do, and I hope everybody will realize that young people pay attention a whole lot more than we think they're paying attention.
They do. They don't miss anything. You know, it's wonderful to see. You know, because they get so into the game and so emotional, and you know, it's great for them to have that competitive spirit. You know, but also staying with, you know, having good sportsmanship. You know, it's great to see them cheering for each other and just getting involved and having enthusiasm.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great atmosphere, you know, when they do it the right way.
Yeah, and Coach, you know, we all make mistakes in life, and no doubt about it. But when you are tested, when you have conflict in your life, whatever it may be, if it's on the field, and hopefully they're learning now, you know, through your guidance and what the Lord reveals to you to teach to them. But, you know, when you try, that shows you true character. And so what, you make mistakes sometimes, like we say on the field, like we say in any sporting event, it's the next play. It's what you do next after that. And
That's right.
so hopefully you develop that and you learn, hey, when I'm tried, that's when I got to be true.
That's right. You want to get over the mistake, but you want to learn from it too.
Oh,
You know, and that's what's been great to see with this team. You know, this year, not just necessarily on the varsity level, but JV wise as well. You know, yeah, they make mistakes, but these guys are learning. I mean, we as a staff, me and Coach Pollock and Coach Carter and Coach Cawthon, we talk about these guys, about how coachable they are. You know, and how humble. You know, they make a mistake, you don't see all this body language and you know, just they're really starting to understand. Okay, I'm gonna make mistakes. Don't play the game in fear. You know, that's gonna happen. It don't matter what aspect of your life is. Go hard at it. You know, just don't quit. Keep fighting. When you make mistakes, learn from it and persevere through it. You know, and that's builds character.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
And like you say, Jones, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, man, how many times have we faced Jones over the last few years, and it's been tough. But that's what you want to bring in, that well-coached team that you face, and then it helps take you to the next level every year. And I'm sure they love playing you.
Absolutely. Hey, that's what me and Coach Page, he was like, after we beat them 5-3 here, and you know, he and I were just down there, he was like, it don't get any better than this. He's like, isn't this fun? I said, man, it is. You know, that's what makes it so enjoyable, you know, and now that, you know, the day of, you know, with travel ball and stuff going on in the summertime, you know, our players know their players and they know our guys. So that just, and it's good, you know, wonderful competition. You know, they respect each other, but it's like you playing your best friend. You want to beat them.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want to lose to your friends.
You want a diamond to win. Yeah. And then we move on. This past Monday, you went over to East Lawrence.
Went over to
Right.
East Lawrence, yes. You know, Tyler Green and Jacob Floyd, Mitch Edge, you know, Gene Mulkey, they're doing a great job with those guys. You know, and you know, I just tell them all the time, stay the course, keep doing what's right. You know, guys will buy into it, and they're starting to see that. You know, those guys are working hard, and you know, from what Tyler and Jacob, you know, learned, you know, from playing for me, and it's really carrying over, you know, to their guys, you know, and I'm so excited for them, you know, and proud of them.
Yeah, yeah. And you want to see a program develop, but you want to win.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you go over this past Monday, you go to East Lawrence. What a great complex they have.
It is. It was beautiful. The field looked nice. I mean, you know, dugouts, atmosphere, you know, they got a great complex over there.
Yeah, they do. And like you say, they're trying to build a program, but you go over and you face them. Who'd you pitch and how'd that game go?
Let's see. Tyler Franks was on the mound. Once again, had, you know, another good outing out of him. He pitched 3 strong innings. And then Jake Helton, you know, come in and he pitched 3 innings as well. And, you know, since he threw 3 innings in relief, he got to save.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we ended up winning that game, you know, 11-0.
Yeah.
Of course, East had only, you know, had 1 hit. But offensively for us at the plate, Parker Woods, once again, was 1 for 3. E.J. Holmes, he's 1 for 1 and walked a couple of times. He had 2 RBIs. Bradley Wilson was 2 for 4, had a double and 2 RBIs. Colton Scott was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. AJ Mathis, he was 1 for 3, hit a 2-run homer. He had 2 RBIs as well. And once again, that was a mammoth shot. I mean, he knew it as soon as he hit it.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit it a
Everybody
long
knew.
way. Yes, sir. It was one of those no-doubters, like the one Brody hit here at Jones, against Jones. So, but we're starting to see our guys, and we harp on them all the time at the plate about having a good performance. It's not about the production. I mean, they also worried about the result.
Yeah.
Once you hit that ball, you can't control where it goes, but you can control your approach at the plate. Staying focused, understand the situation. I get 2 strikes, got to shorten things up. Put the ball in play.
Yeah.
So that's what we're harping on with these guys. Let's good performances at the plate, and keep hitting the ball hard. I mean, we get on we don't get on to them, but they get up there at the plate and they square one up. They hit it as hard as they can, and it hits a line drive right at somebody and they catch it, and they want to be upset. We're like, what are you upset about? Yeah, you're disappointed that they caught the ball, but could you do anything better at the plate than what you did?
Yeah.
No, sir. Build on that. I mean, don't come in here and start questioning, well, did I pull my shoulder out? Did I get my hands out in front? Was I too early? No, you squared that ball up. That's a great performance. Let's build on that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, odds are next time it's going to go in the gap.
Absolutely.
You're going to get a hit.
Oh, yeah. Or you're going to get jammed.
Yeah.
And you're going to hit a little bleeder over the third baseman's head. Well, how's that performance? Well, that performance really wasn't very good, but you got a hit on it.
Yeah.
Well, last time you
We
smoked
all-
one and it hit, line drive right at somebody. So
Yeah.
that's baseball for you,
Yeah.
So,
All right, we're talking about the last 3 games. We covered those pretty well. We're going to talk more about what's coming up in region play, what's coming up next week, how you can follow the West Lawrence Raider baseball team. Take a short break and be right back with Coach Brown.
Portions of this program are brought to you by Curry Companies and Curry Residential, your Caldwell banker, providing real estate services since 1902.
Lawrence County's leader in hometown banking is Farmers State Bank. From our customer service professionals to our mortgage specialist or any of our professional lenders, we're committed to making banking as easy as FSB. Farmers State Bank, with locations in Dublin and Cadwell, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. Stop by today and find out why we make banking as easy as FSB. Welcome you back, everyone. Again, we're in the dugout here at West Lawrence. Just feels good, doesn't it?
It does. It's so nice to be out here in short sleeves.
Well, I had to put on long ones today. I started a little early, Coach. But listen, when you could come out and watch a game and time's changing. Times changed this week, so we got a good week of late days, and you'll be able to get out and do things. You can come to the ball game, watch it by and large with no lights, and then you'll be able to get home, maybe do a little something around the house. So you want to turn out and support West Lawrence baseball because it is something to watch. The fans are into it. You got a great following, don't you, Coach?
Yes, sir, we do. Our fan base has been fantastic. It's good to see not only all the fans here, but we have Game Changer, so you can see who's following us on Game Changer, and being out in the community, just talking to people about, man, it's so nice with y'all's games being on the radio. I get off work late and can't make it out to the ball field, but we can turn on 92.7, and there's the game, so
keep up what's going on.
Yeah, so it's wonderful to have the support that we have and the enthusiasm, and people just loving our kids, just loving what we're doing.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, Coach. And it comes from a lot of hard work through the years. It
Absolutely.
does. I mean, you put in the work, you're starting to reap some benefit, but you never stop. You keep pushing the young men. And so we want to look at this next week and what we have in this next week of play. Who we got first? We
got two non-region games left on our schedule. Monday, we go to Dodge County for a 5:30 game. We already played them here, and we beat them here at home. Yeah. But we go over to Dodge over in Eastman. Yep. So it'll be another great contest. Matt Herring does a great job with those guys as well. So if you can make the trip, come to Eastman. Start at 5:30.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Then we got one more non-region home game, and that will be Thursday. Thursday we play. We play veterans here at home.
Yeah.
We played them second game of the year over there at Veterans,
Mm-hmm.
and we won that ball game. And that they coming to town. You know, it's David Coffey and those guys at Veterans. You know, they're 5A now, but they're old. You know, region rival. You know, so it's good. You know, to see good ball and good teams come in here.
Yeah. All right, now, Coach, who you think you're going to put on the mound against Dodge when you travel over there?
Oh, when we go to Dodge, Wade Brantley will be on the mound again. It's his time to start. And, you know, I just pray that Wade continues to pitch like he has, you know, in the last few starts. He works extremely hard, you know, getting all his work in from one start to the next. You know, they got certain days they do this and that. And, you know, Wade is really bought in, and he's a fantastic pitcher.
Coach, let's talk about that for young coaches out there, for coaches coaching rec ball, a Dudley League, or the dad at home that wants to work with that pitcher that might have a little bit of ability. What are you talking about working on things in between?
In between, well, when they start, you know, or when they throw in the game, you know, immediately when they get through throwing, you need to ice. You know, you need to put some ice on there, so anything that's flaring up or that muscles you've really worked, you know, while you're pitching, to really take care of the arms. You know, as far as ice on the shoulder and the outside of your elbow, and you know, different things like that.
How long?
20 minutes. You put 20 minutes of ice on there, and then you're pretty good. You know, for that day. The day after they pitch, they need to get out and run. You know, for 15, 20 minutes nonstop. It's not necessarily how far you run or how fast you run. You want to run for 15, 20 minutes, get a good heart rate going, you know, start sweating, get sweating a little bit. That just works out he has good blood flow going through, and it works out all that stuff that, you know, may have built up from when you pitched, you know, the soreness. You know,
Sure.
So you got to work out the soreness. You got to get those things out. Because if you don't, and then he says, my arm starts feeling better. Well, that's because the swelling's gone down a little bit, but there's still some stuff in there that you didn't get out. So the next time you pitch, well, what you do that time is going to build on top of it. Yeah. And you keep building on top of it, and you don't work those things out, that's where your arm problems come into play. Okay. So you really got to run. That's one thing about pitchers. You know, if you want to pitch, you better like to run. You know, so that's just one of the things you've got to do. Then after the day of running, which they may light toss a little bit, you know, just however they feel. Normally the second day after they pitch, second day and third day after they pitch, they really get out here, depending on how their arm feels, they'll long toss. You know, they'll stretch it out, because you want to maintain your velocity that you already have, and plus you want to build on top of it. So when you long toss, you can stretch those muscles out. That allows room for them muscles getting stronger. So that's one thing we do with our guys. You know, we make sure they long toss. They really stretch it out good. Then when they come back in, we do flat ground work. You know, Wade will come in and get about 60 feet, 65 feet from his partner, and he works on touches. You know, with his pitches. You know, fastball, make sure he's got a two-seam running, got a four-seam, you know, going straight or rising a little bit. He'll spin some breaking balls. He'll work on his changeup. You know, just all those things on flat ground. You know, it's not necessarily the guy sitting down, you know, getting down as a catcher, but we're throwing to a spot. You know, that guy puts his mitt up, and Wade's able to see. He's not going full tilt. You know, he's already stretched it out, but if we just, you know, zeroing things back in, you know, for the direction of where we want to throw the ball. Then probably day 4, he'll throw what we call a bullpen. That's where Coach Carter, Coach Cawthon will get in there with him. You know, maybe some things that we saw when he threw live, we'll start, you know, tweaking some things there. Hey, your two-seam, you may be running a little too much here. Let's change your grip a little bit. Let's see what happens. And we chart everything, you know, from what they do in a game to bullpens. We chart everything, you know, to see what percentages we're throwing strikes. Are we hitting our spots? Are we keeping the ball, you know, knee level, 18, 19 inches, you know? So it's really good. So they'll throw a nice bullpen there, and that normally leads him up to a day or two before his next start. You know, and that's If he wants to go out and long toss again, he can. He can do that the day after his bullpen, depending on how he feels. And that, let me go back. That bullpen, maybe 20, 25 pitches. So it's not like a game.
Yeah.
But you going in there and we're specifically working on, certain things that we really need to improve. And then the day before he starts, like Wade, he's pitching on Monday. So Wade will come in here, Sunday afternoon. We have voluntary hitting, and for the guys to come in and get some work in. Wade will go in and throw what's called a short box. So what he'll do is get a catcher about 46 feet away, about the distance of Little League.
Sure.
And he's not throwing full tilt, but he's really working on getting the ball out in front, throwing downhill. We're working on all his pitches, hitting all his spots. And we'll actually go through some scenarios as far as, all right, this is an 0-2 pitch. What's our plan? What do we want to do here? And by that time, I've already gotten scout reports, on all the team we're going to play, their hitters. And we start talking game plan, how we're going to set guys up, how we're going to get them out. This is just different things like that to get mentally prepared for that. And also that short box is about 20, 25 pitches.
Yeah.
So it's good. With these guys, they get in a routine of when they're starting. And that's great because Wade's throwing on Monday against Dodge. Wade's going to be our Monday starter when we hit region play starting March 18th.
Yeah.
So we've built him up. All the, several starts he's had so far. This is his last non-region start before we really get to the meat of the schedule.
Yeah. So yeah. And does that complete now next week?
Yes, sir.
That completes next week. All right, we'll take a short break. We hope you got a lot out of that, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously, fellas that are coaching, if you'll pay attention to that, if you'll learn that routine, you'll protect that arm, you'll sweat it out, you'll get to working back on what you need to, stretching that arm out, and then work on the fundamentals of the game, work on the placement, and do it right as a method. And like you say, Coach, you can't manage what you can't measure. So as you measure things, as you document things, as you measure it, then you're able to manage it. You're able to help them
That's
get
right.
in the right position.
And listen, anybody out there, what we've talked about as far as throwing on this day, running on this day, long toss, bullpen, short box. If you want that kind of stuff, send me an email, Brian Brown at lcboe.net. And I'll be glad to, to email you, what we do. I mean, that's what we want. We want people to get on board with the program now, with, they're 9, 10, 11,
That's
12
right.
years old.
That's right.
You start building up those arms and you start really doing things the right way.
Yeah.
It's building our future.
And some people have a different philosophy than I do on this. I just want to mention that when you help everybody around you, no matter what school it is, no matter if it's a rival of yours or what it is, you're building that sport in the area.
That's
you're
right.
building up the quality of the athlete. You're going to build up your program in the long run.
See Chuck Grooms at Trinity, of course Tyler Green at East Lawrence, Coach Morris at Dublin.
Yep.
We bounce ideas off each other. It's not that, okay, this is what I'm doing, so I'm gonna keep it from everybody else.
Yeah.
No, we want all the kids here in Dublin, Lawrence County to succeed, to be successful in whatever league they're playing in.
Yeah.
We want them all. I love it when I see guys, playing in college, where they're from West Lawrence, East Lawrence, Dublin, Trinity.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. We're all wanting these guys to be successful in everything they do.
Yeah, it's the love of the support. It's the love of the community. It's the love of life. We're going to take a short break and be right back on start talking about a little bit of region play and get Coach's take on that. So you stay tuned, all right?
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
The City of Dublin Natural Gas provides the most cost-efficient source of energy available today. So for your home, choose the most natural resource. Safe, clean, efficient. All new subdivisions around the Dublin area have natural gas available. Start reducing your energy bills today with Dublin City Natural Gas Department. Natural gas, the smart choice. Call Call 277-5048 today and let us help you start saving today.
All right, welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we've given you a lot of information today, and we appreciate that from Coach Brown. He gave you the information on how to get in touch with him, that email address, and I can attest to that. He's going to respond to you. He always responds to me. Hey, Coach, if you'll respond to me, you'll get to them, I'm sure.
Oh,
But
yeah,
we want to
absolutely.
look on to the region play. All right, so the first region game you said coming up March 18th.
All right, what we do in our region, we start region play March 18th, and we do a 3-game series with each team in our region.
I love it.
You know, we open up with Perry. This year we'll have Perry here on Monday, then we go to Perry on Wednesday,
Yeah,
and then Perry comes back to us on Friday.
yeah.
You know, so it's a 3-game series, and man, our region is one of the top ones in the state. I mean, you take our region from last year. You know, we finished first. I think Upson Lee finished second. Spalding finished third. All 3 of us, 3 out of our 4 made it to the Elite 8 last year in the state. You know, so that speaks volumes. You know, for our region. You know, and us doing a 3-game series. You know, like we're doing during the week or during the regular season. That prepares us for the state playoffs, because every round of playoffs is best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
So the name of the game is pitching. You know, you got to have some guys that can throw it. You know, if you got one guy that can pitch pretty good, he might get you through the first round.
Yeah.
But second round, you better have 2 boy dogs back there that can throw. Mm-hmm. You know, and you get to you want to get past the Sweet 16 and go to the Elite 8 and then Final 4. You better have a stable of them. You better have 3 or 4 guys that can really, you know, go out there and eat up some innings for you and pitch.
Yeah.
So we love it. I mean, it's been great for us. We've been blessed, you know, to have a lot of arms, you know, as far as guys that can throw the ball well. So we're looking forward to it. We start out with Perry. Perry have a lot of guys coming back from last year. They'll be very young, right? Very young, so they'll be tough. Then we end up going to let's see, we got Perry. Then I think it's Upson Lee. We go Upson Lee next. Upson Lee was very young, skill-wise. They graduated a lot of guys, you know, arm-wise from the mound. But they'll be a scrappy bunch. Coach Jonathan Thompson up there, he does a great job with those guys. Yeah. Then after Upson Lee, then we'll have Spalding. Spalding's going to be good this year. I know they got one kid that's a lefty. You know, he can run it up, you know, 90 plus. Mm-hmm. You know, so they'll be a scrappy bunch. Then after Spalding, then we got Mary Persons, and Mary Persons will be during our spring break. Mary Persons and West Lawrence has been a pretty heated rivalry, you know, in all sports, not just baseball. Right. But it's good competition, you know, with the Bulldogs. Yeah. And then we'll finish up, you know, region play with Howard, and that's who we have the last week. And it's a good competition. Like I said, a good region, good solid pitching. That's why we play our non-region games. That's why we play teams, you know, like Bleckley County, Jones County, Dodge, River Ridge, North Paulding, Trinity Christian Sharpsburg. You know, that's why we play those kind of teams, you know, to get us prepared for this tough region that we play in.
Yeah, and it is that. We're looking forward to it, Coach. I know you are.
Yes,
Got to
sir.
get through this next week. We want to encourage you to turn out, support Raider baseball. If you can't make it out, of course, you can catch it on the radio, and
Yes, sir.
You can catch it online as well. You can keep up with it, but we love being able to come out and being able to speak with you, and you giving lessons on ball and lessons, life lessons, Coach, to the people out there that are able to watch it each week. And you young coaches, get your kids involved, keep the program going, keep the sport alive in our community by getting out and playing baseball. Thanks again.